George Bush, you will be dealt with. I'm scrolling on TikTok and I come across a video. This video made so much sense. It's by Kill Brody TM, and he's basically in the video, he's talking about how after this whole administration's fiasco, after everything that we've seen come to head within the last decade, there's going to have to be a re-education. Like, there's going to have to be a reform again on education, because it's been this whole like movement on anti-intellectualism. For some reason, people don't like when you're smart. So that's the thing. I will start this video off with a story, my life of education, right? Where I stand with education. As I started to get older, my mom's financial situation started to change. I jumped around from school to school to school to school. In high school, I went to 4 different high schools. I would say towards the end of my like mandatory education, towards my freshman year of high school, I had moved around so much. I started to not care about my grades in a way that I used to in grade school. I got to my freshman year in high school, played around. I was in a very disenfranchised area. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Nobody there valued their education. They let us do what we want. Mid-year, we figured it out that our school was being shut down. My high school was shut down because of low funding and things of that nature. That was kind of normal to me at that point because I had moved to so many schools. When I went to a different school in my sophomore year, instead of focusing on my education again, I banded with people who, again, did not value their education. I did not know at the time that I was doing damage to what my education said on paper. I did not realize because I didn't have people around me at that time to tell me, you know, high school is important. For a second year in a row, my grades plummeted and I'm at a second school. Fast forward, we go to my junior year in high school. This time, our financial status was on an uprise. We lived in an area with a lot of more resources. And so in return, I went to a better school. It was totally different than what I was used to. Because the people, my environment shifted, I started to do the same. And because of the damage that I had done my freshman year and my senior year, my total GPA was not what it was supposed to be. And I had to make up classes. I don't think I challenged myself as much in high school as I did my junior year. Fast forward to my senior year in high school. Once again, I moved to another school. So at this time, 4 years of high school, 4th different school. From my very first semester, senior year of high school, to the last semester of high school, I was on AB honor roll. Because I had did all of that work my junior year of high school, senior year of high school, I had a free period. I was up on my work, never had homework. It was a breeze. Also, I was in a suburb and I had access to better resources. I had access to a decent education. But once again, just like freshman year of high school, the school closed down. I was the last graduating class of that school. So yeah, there's a common theme here, and I want to see if you have critical thinking to connect it. Those are just 4 of the schools. I have a unique perspective. I think I have a perspective better than most people in my generation who have gone through the No Child Left Behind pipeline. Because of how many schools that I've been to, I have witnessed in real time what No Child Left Behind has done to a generation. Education reform should have been happened, but we know the lack of resources in certain areas and the lack of resources targeted at certain areas has everything to do with racism, systematic oppression, and things of that nature. No Child Left Behind, although it aimed to better the circumstances of those gaps, it did nothing but make it 10 times worse. I want to carefully choose my words here. Actually, I'm not going to choose my words wisely here. I'm going to just say it. I'm seeing some of the dumbest people in my class move on with me that shouldn't have. We've released these people back into society as adults. And what's worse about it is these people are allowed to vote with me. These people are allowed to vote with you. And the same gap that their predecessor, their parents went through is worse now. And here's the thing with No Child Left Behind. Standardized testing is a huge part of it. The whole point of standardized testing is to see where your school ranks nationally or statewide, things of that nature, right? In Illinois, at first it was called ISAT, then it got turned into MAP testing. It changed midway for me. I don't know which one it's called now. But we had those tests. And when I tell you the psychological warfare that children go through to prepare for these tests is terrifying. I don't know what test you have to take between your senior and junior year, but it's the big one. And they're hyping us up as juniors like for weeks, like not even hyping us up. This was anxiety inducing. They was telling us like, you guys have to study for this test. You guys don't know, like, this is a very important test. It decides your future. Like, this is what they're telling us. These are like college educated teachers. This is what they're telling us. And now in my adulthood, I realize that they're telling us this because how we score depends on the funding that the schools get. These tests determine where you get into college. It determines what scholarships you get. Like, I don't think parents realize when you're sending your children to school, not only do you have to worry about social problems, safety issues, you are sending your child into the cogwheel of America. It starts there. It starts in school. Now that I'm older, I realized that what I was experiencing at that moment in time was anxiety. The feeling of, if I don't score well on this test, I may or may not be screwed. I remember sitting through a seminar my junior year at this very well off school that I was at. She basically put up like a diagram of like a slideshow of data that showed like basically scaring us, like, this is what your life will look like if you don't go to college. You make $1 million less, and this is what a person who only graduates high school makes if they don't go to college. Like, I'm dead. I'm not even lying to you. This is what they're doing at your children's school. This is what they're doing. If you're not talking to a college recruiter, the military is at your school asking you to do pull-ups. Like, do you see the wheel that we're being spun? We're on a fish line, and they're doing this when we hit 17. The point that I'm making is it's very predatory. So the higher education schools, the wheel is recruiting them, and the lower education schools, the wheel is disregarding them. Being in lower education schools genuinely feels like daycare for older kids. And it's not fair to the students there who actually want to learn. I've been in schools where I've seen people, smart kids, genius children who are in these schools getting pushed along with people who couldn't pass the cursive test because of this act to lower the education gap, and it did nothing but make it wider. My perspective, my rant about this isn't just to shit on George Bush and the shitty policy that Republicans pushed onto the nation. It's to raise a question. If they've put so much funding into keeping society stupid, what would happen if we had the funding for education? What are they hiding? What do they not want us to figure out? It's easy for you to become a sheep, because why would I question it? I don't have the brain capacity to. That's all. I'm a college dropout, baby. I had